Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that should interest all men, so make sure to follow up till the end. Have you ever wondered what's really going on in a woman's mind when you're not around? It's not just about missing you. In fact, a lot of what happens during your absence could completely change how she views you, whether you realize it or not. Now, before you get all defensive thinking she's just out there living her best life without a second thought, let's flip the script. Women, just like us, experience a whirlwind of emotions when we're not there. It's not always about loneliness or longing. In some cases, it can even be about testing boundaries or wondering how much you're really invested in her. But here's the catch. If you're absent too often or in the wrong way, it could have consequences you don't even see coming. By understanding what she feels during your absence, you can use that knowledge to your advantage. Knowing this can help you avoid unnecessary mistakes, create intrigue, and even make her miss you more. The truth is, the way you handle your time away from her can either make her want you more or make her question your place in her life. So, in today's video, we're going to break down exactly what goes on in her mind when you're not around and why it matters. We'll cover how she reacts emotionally, what she's really thinking, and how you can make her feel more drawn to you, even when you're not there. Stick around, because if you're not paying attention to these signals, you could be losing her interest without even realizing it. Let's get into it. 1. She wonders if you're really into her. When you're absent, one of the first things a woman will start thinking is whether you're still genuinely interested in her. Your absence triggers a wave of doubt. It's not that she doesn't trust you, but the lack of attention or communication makes her question where she stands. She begins asking herself, does he still care about me, or am I just another option to him? This thought process happens naturally when someone's presence fades away. Women, just like men, need reassurance, and without that, uncertainty creeps in. If you've been distant or unresponsive, she might start to wonder if she's been replaced by something or someone else. The longer the silence, the deeper this doubt grows. For example, imagine a woman who's been seeing a guy regularly. They've been talking every day, making plans together, and enjoying each other's company. But suddenly, he becomes distant. He doesn't reply to texts as quickly, or worse, he stops texting altogether for a few days. At first, she brushes it off, thinking he's just busy. But after a while, she starts to feel the absence, and questions begin to flood her mind. Has he lost interest? Does he still want me around? What's going on? In that situation, she's not just missing his presence, she's questioning the foundation of the relationship. The silence leaves her wondering whether all those good times they had were genuine, or if it was all just a temporary fling. She starts doubting her value in his life and wondering if he's keeping his options open. This doubt isn't something that can just be ignored. It's a real feeling that can affect how she views you moving forward. The absence of reassurance can lead to insecurity, which may push her away. Without regular reminders that you're still thinking about her, she'll feel neglected and unimportant. To prevent this from happening, it's important to keep her reassured during periods of absence. It doesn't have to be anything big. Just a simple message or a short check-in can go a long way in showing her that you're still into her. When she feels secure in your feelings, she won't spend her time questioning your intentions. But without that, she's left to wonder if she really means anything to you. 2. Her confidence takes a blow. When you're not around, a woman's confidence can take a serious hit. It's not that she suddenly loses her self-worth, but the absence of your attention and presence can make her feel less secure in the relationship. She begins to question if she's still as important to you as she was when you were around. It's a blow to her emotional stability. Think about it. When you're actively present in her life, showing interest, and giving her attention, she feels validated. But when you pull away, it sends a message that she's not the priority anymore, and that stings. It's like suddenly not getting invited to an event you were once part of. Everyone else is there, but you're left out. Even if nothing major has changed, the lack of inclusion can make her question her place. Her confidence takes a hit because deep down, she wants to know that she matters. that she's not just a filler in your life. Without you reassuring her through simple gestures, words, or actions, she starts to feel uncertain about her role. It's easy to think she'll be fine on her own, but emotionally, she's attached to you and your presence. The absence creates space for self-doubt, and in that space, insecurities can start to grow. She'll also start wondering if she's good enough for you. Without regular interactions, the things that once seemed solid now feel shaky. The compliments, the small gestures, the little bits of attention, those things are what reinforced her sense of security. When those disappear, the uncertainty fills the gap. She might feel like she's no longer the woman who caught your attention. And when that happens, her confidence is no longer as high as it once was. This doesn't mean she suddenly becomes insecure about everything. It's not a complete loss of self-worth, but it's an emotional dip. She might become less confident in how she presents herself to you, how she communicates with you, and even how she views the relationship. It's also important to remember that her confidence isn't just about how you see her physically. It's tied to the emotional bond the two of you share. When you're not actively present in her life, that bond starts to feel weaker, and with it, her confidence starts to fade. She doesn't know where she stands with you, and that uncertainty is what hits her hardest. If you're not there to reinforce the connection and remind her that she matters, she'll start to wonder if she ever really did in the first place. Emotional security is key in any relationship, and your absence can unintentionally undermine that. Without you there, she might not feel like the priority she once was, and that's a tough blow to her confidence. The truth is, men and women both need reassurance, especially when there's emotional investment. If she's emotionally invested in you, your absence can cause her to feel like she's losing that investment, and that will inevitably affect her confidence. When you're present and reaffirm her place in your life, her confidence stays high, and she knows exactly where she stands. 3. She feels like she's losing control. When you're absent, she starts feeling like she's losing control over the situation. Relationships thrive on connection and shared experiences, and when you're not around, that sense of control starts to slip away. It's not just about having control over you, it's about her ability to influence the relationship and keep things on track. And when you're not there to reinforce that connection, she feels a sense of powerlessness creeping in. Think about it. When things are going smoothly, she knows what to expect. She's used to your presence, your attention, and the way the relationship flows. But once you become distant, that rhythm gets thrown off. She no longer has the same level of influence over how the relationship progresses, and that's unsettling. Without regular interaction, she can't gauge where she stands with you. Is everything fine? Is there something she's missing? The uncertainty of not knowing where you are emotionally or mentally makes her feel like she's losing control of the situation. She can't plan, can't predict, and that leaves her feeling out of touch with what's going on between the two of you. This is especially true if she's used to being emotionally engaged and involved with you on a regular basis. The sudden silence, whether it's a lack of communication or your absence in general, disrupts the dynamic. When she feels disconnected, it triggers the feeling that she's not in control anymore. It's like trying to steer a car without knowing where the road is headed. The uncertainty takes over. And here's the thing, most people, men and women alike, don't like feeling powerless. It's uncomfortable. For her, it's a reminder that she can't control everything in the relationship. Without the constant reassurance of your presence, she begins to feel helpless in guiding the connection forward. She might try to regain control in subtle ways, like checking in on you more often, or even testing boundaries to see how much she can influence your behavior. But the absence itself is the real source of her unease. When you're present, there's a balance. There's a mutual flow of effort and emotional investment. But when you're absent, it feels like a power shift. And this can lead to frustration on her part. She might even feel resentful, especially if she feels like she's the only one trying to maintain control of the relationship while you've taken a step back. Her feelings of powerlessness can even cause her to question her value. If she's not receiving the emotional responses she's used to from you, she might start to wonder if she's doing something wrong or if you're no longer interested. In her mind, it's not just about the relationship. It's about maintaining control over the dynamics between the two of you. Without that, things can start to feel out of balance. 4. Her attraction intensifies. When you're not around, something interesting happens with her attraction toward you. It intensifies. It may sound counterintuitive, but absence can actually make her feel more drawn to you. This is because, in the absence of your constant presence, she begins to miss you. The space between your interactions amplifies her desire for connection, and this absence acts as a powerful reminder of what she values about you. The key here is that she starts to notice what she's been taking for granted. When you're always around, the connection can feel routine. She knows you're there, she knows you're consistent, and it can sometimes feel like there's no urgency to fully appreciate you in the moment. But when you're not available, her mind starts to fill in the gaps, and she realizes just how much she enjoys your company, your attention, and everything else you bring to the relationship. When a woman is constantly surrounded by someone, it's easy for her to fall into a pattern of taking that person for granted. But when you're absent, the longing for your presence creates an emotional vacuum that pulls her thoughts back to you. This emotional tension builds, and without even realizing it, she starts to crave you more. Attraction is built on emotional connection and anticipation. When there's no certainty of when you'll next interact, her mind starts to focus more on what you bring to the table. The idea of you becomes more powerful than when you're readily available. In fact, your absence may spark curiosity. What are you doing? Who are you with? These thoughts can stir up more intense feelings of wanting to reconnect, increasing her attraction in the process. The emotional gap left by your absence makes her desire you more because you become somewhat of an emotional reward. The more you're not there, the more her subconscious associates you with something special and valuable. When you do make an appearance, it feels like a return to something cherished, something she's been longing for. This feeling can make her more appreciative of the connection you share, which fuels a stronger attraction. This is part of the psychological principle of scarcity. When something is scarce, it feels more valuable. Your absence turns you into a prize. It may seem like the ideal time for her to detach emotionally, but in reality, it's when she feels her attraction growing. She begins to see you in a different light, realizing that she can't take you or your presence for granted anymore. It's important to note that this doesn't mean she's just sitting around waiting for you. She's living her life, but the emotional space you've created increases the intensity of her attraction. It's the pull between wanting to be around you and the excitement of having to wait for that connection to return, which heightens her emotional investment. 5. She tests you. When you're not around, she starts testing you. It's a natural response to uncertainty. She needs to see how much you care, how serious you are, and whether you're still invested in the relationship. These tests may come in different forms, but they're always designed to gauge your emotional response and check how much control she has in the relationship. It's her way of figuring out whether she can still rely on you or if she needs to pull back and protect herself. These tests can range from subtle to more obvious, but what they have in common is that they often feel like challenges. It could be a sudden change in behavior, perhaps she seems distant or acts like she's less interested. This is her way of seeing if you'll chase her. Or it could be something like creating emotional tension, such as getting upset over something minor to see how you handle it. What she's doing is testing your consistency. She wants to see if you'll still show up for her when she's not being completely easy to deal with. She wants to see if you'll stay emotionally grounded and not be swayed by her mood swings or games. These tests aren't necessarily meant to be manipulative, but rather a subconscious way of trying to feel secure again in the relationship. For instance, let's say she suddenly becomes less responsive. She's not replying to your texts as quickly or seems distracted when you do talk. This is often a test to see how you'll react. Will you back off and give her space? Or will you chase after her, trying to win her attention back? The key here is how you handle the situation. If you chase her or start overcompensating, you fail the test by showing her that you're emotionally reactive. But if you stay calm, don't make a big deal out of it, and let her come to you, you pass the test and reinforce your emotional strength. What she's really testing is your emotional stability. If you can stay grounded and not get thrown off by her testing behavior, she will start to respect you more. It's a subtle way of assessing your confidence, your ability to remain unaffected by minor disturbances, and your overall value in the relationship. At the end of the day, these tests are about proving your worth in her eyes. She wants to see if you can handle her unpredictability, if you can stay true to yourself and your own life, while still showing her that you're invested. The more you pass these tests with emotional maturity and consistency, the more she'll trust you and feel secure in the relationship. When you pass these tests, you're not just proving to her that you're a man of substance, you're also reinforcing your position as a solid, reliable presence in her life. So, while these tests might feel frustrating or confusing, understand that they're part of how she's trying to make sense of the relationship in your absence. 6. She starts exploring other options. When you're absent, she may begin to explore other options. It's not necessarily about her not caring for you or wanting someone else. It's more about self-preservation. When a woman feels emotionally uncertain, especially when there's distance, she might start considering her other possibilities to feel secure again. This isn't a direct betrayal, it's simply her way of navigating the emotional void created by your absence. The human tendency is to seek out security and stability, and in relationships, that often means knowing that your partner is committed. If she's not receiving that emotional support or connection from you, she'll start looking elsewhere to fulfill her emotional needs, whether that's through friends, acquaintances, or even exploring other romantic interests. She's testing the waters to see if there's something better out there that could provide the reassurance and connection she's craving. This doesn't mean she's actively trying to replace you, but she's filling the gaps where your presence once was. Emotional voids are powerful, and people tend to try to fill them with whatever is available. She may not have any intention of leaving, but she's not going to sit idly by while she feels emotionally neglected. She starts to explore alternatives because, in her mind, the emotional connection she used to have with you is now uncertain. It's not about lack of loyalty or love. It's about how she's navigating the uncertainty that comes with your absence. She's seeking reassurance, validation, or even just the comfort of knowing that she still has options if the relationship isn't fulfilling her emotional needs anymore. If you're not actively engaged with her, if you're not reinforcing your connection, or showing her that you're still emotionally invested, she starts questioning if she can continue waiting for you. She starts wondering whether it's better to invest her time and energy elsewhere, into something or someone that's going to give her the security and certainty she needs. But don't assume this is her giving up on you. It's more about how she's managing her emotions. It's her way of feeling like she's in control of her own emotional stability. When she starts looking for other options, it's a reflection of her inner need to regain balance, to take back control of her feelings when they feel like they're being tossed around. It's important to understand that when she's exploring other options, it's a reaction to the emotional space created by your absence. She's not trying to replace you, she's simply doing what she can to feel secure. If you start re-engaging with her, proving your commitment, and showing that you're still in this relationship emotionally, she'll likely redirect her focus back to you. But in the meantime, she's looking for the emotional stability she needs in a moment of uncertainty. 7. She decides whether to stay or walk away. When a woman goes through the emotional roller coaster caused by your absence, she will ultimately make a decision: stay or walk away. This isn't just about how much she misses you. It's about whether you've proven yourself worthy of her time and energy. She'll decide whether to stay based on how you've handled the situation and what effort you've made to maintain the emotional connection, especially when there's distance between you two. Here's where many men go wrong. They believe the relationship will just keep going, that she'll always be there, even if they stop showing up emotionally. The truth is, that's not the case. Relationships take work, and if you're not showing up consistently, she'll start wondering if it's worth sticking around. She needs to feel secure and valued, and if you're not providing that, she'll begin to question whether this relationship is right for her. Many men think that as long as a woman is interested, she'll never leave. But over time, emotional neglect becomes a problem. If she starts feeling like she's always the one waiting for attention or emotional validation, she'll start to question if she deserves more. The patience she has will eventually run out, and when it does, she'll start thinking about her options. When a woman is deciding whether to stay or leave, she's considering whether the relationship gives her the emotional fulfillment she wants. If you failed to provide that during your absence, she'll start asking herself, is this the relationship I want? Am I getting the emotional support I need? Is it worth staying? Men need to wake up and realize that a woman won't wait forever. Yes, she may hold on for a while, making excuses for your behavior, but eventually she'll get tired. She'll get tired of wondering where you are or why you're not emotionally consistent. When that point comes, the decision will be hers, and it might not be the one you want. If you want her to stay, you need to prove your value consistently. Relationships don't run on autopilot. You need to show up emotionally, stay consistent, and make her feel valued even when you're not physically around. Stop assuming that everything will be fine just because you've been together for a while. If you don't actively remind her why she should stay, she'll start to think there are better options for her. This is your wake-up call. If you're serious about the relationship, stop being passive. Put in the effort to show her that you're still invested. Prove that you're worth sticking around for before it's too late. Let me leave you with this brutal truth. If your absence doesn't make her miss you, then your presence never meant anything to begin with. That's the hard line every man needs to understand. You see, absence is a tool. When used with control, it builds desire, creates tension, and reminds her of your value. But when you overdo it, it backfires. She won't chase, you'll just become forgettable. This video wasn't about being distant for the sake of playing games. It's about helping you understand how she reacts when you pull back, what she feels, what she starts thinking, and how to use that space to position yourself as the man she doesn't want to lose, not the man she slowly detaches from. Most men either smother a woman with too much presence or disappear hoping she'll chase. Both extremes kill attraction. The key is controlled absence, where you create space but remain grounded in purpose, confidence, and clarity. So let me ask you, have you ever pulled back and seen a shift in her behavior? Or did it backfire and push her further away? Drop your story in the comments, I'll respond. I want to hear what stage you're in and give you real feedback. I don't just make content, I build connection with men who are ready to level up. This is your space. And if you're ready to lead, not chase, subscribe. We've only just begun.